Hello, everybody. It's me, TONIK TZW, and yes, I have the Azur Lane, New Jersey. I have the Commander. It's not something that I had money for myself. However, somebody made a very generous contribution to the YouTube channel and said that I should use it towards new content. They enjoy it and to keep things going. So I would like to say a huge thank you to my benefactor who will remain anonymous, and that has given me the opportunity to bring you this video. We've got a 10-minute talk through on the ship and the commander, and then we've got a pretty massive game for you towards the end. Let's get into it. So let's have a look at the statistics of the Azur Lane, New Jersey. Now, as far as mods go, I'm running main battery mod 2 for traverse speed, and then we're running propulsion for a bit of start and stop action, because this is a big ship. It takes a long time to get going and it takes a long time to stop, and that really helps out a bit when you're trying to sneak around a corner without giving yourself a full broadside to the other team. And obviously concealment system mod 1 was introduced. One of the best parts of that is it increases the incoming fire dispersion by 5%, reduces your detection range, but with a ship this size, that isn't really worth a lot. And to be frank, with this new commander, people are building laser beam firing ships, and that extra 5% dispersion is going to give you back a little bit of a chance against those shells coming in on you. And then the fourth slot, I haven't got my legendary mods unlocked yet, but I'm reducing my main battery dispersion by 10%, and it really makes a difference to firing salvos or a ripple fire of these turrets, because they do seem to be much more accurate. Obviously, two types of shell, HE and armor piercing, and I've got to say the AP from this thing has been a beast. We've got unlimited damage control parties, we've got 3 repair parties, but if you're taking hits to the Citadel, those aren't going to count. And then you've got an option of a catapult fighter, a spotter plane, which is going to give you an extra 10% grouping, but it's only enough time for 1 reload. Or you've got a enhanced secondary battery mod. Stats wise, 67,000 hit points. I don't know how that compares to the others. I know some people have all the statistics for every ship in their head, but with a reduction in reload on our inspirations, which we'll get to in a second, we bring that down to just under 30 seconds. We've got a range of 19.5 Ks. I'm sure people are building it with longer ranges. I'm sure if you put a triple booster on, you can get that extra, this is a 3% in range on there, so you can push that out a little bit further. It's got quite good AA defense, but it isn't impervious to planes getting through that AA screen and dropping bombs or torpedoes on you, as we'll see in the game that we're going to watch shortly. 27 knots maximum speed and a turn and circle of 920 meters. Rudder shift time seems extremely slow at 19.5, and you do have to play for position with this ship and think about where you're moving, when you're moving, and what you're going to be traveling through. If you're moving through a gap, you need to be careful. And concealment, we can be spotted out at 13.2 kilometers, and obviously maximum gun range if we fire the guns, and we get an extra 2 Ks on that if we're set on fire. People will try to set you on fire. Now, armor view, again, I know there are people who have all these statistics on this for which guns can over penetrate you, who can overmatch you. I'm not that much into the game. I try to play sensible, but let's take that off. Let's take the side plates off. We've got a pretty solid belt there on the side, but again, we aren't impervious to taking hits through that citadel. Um, Although at the moment in the game, people seem to be having trouble hitting the citadels, and the question is, why is that? Have they tweaked it a little bit? But certainly that front end of the citadel is flat. What gets me is when they've got a pointy front end on a ship, why did they not angle the armor as well? I know the Yamato has those sort of angled plates towards the front, so if you try to angle the ship, you're given a flat surface off to other ships. But surely it would have made a difference. So we've got long range. It says above average movement speed. In a battleship, what is above average? Because it still seems mighty slow. But we have got big guns. Big guns are always good in battleships. Didn't actually have a look to see what caliber they are. It's 406 millimeters on the guns. Now, this commander, the Azur New Jersey, I don't want to say things are a must-have in this game, but it's getting that way. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button there. So let's have a look at that commander profile. Now, I build my ships how I feel I need my ships to be built. With a new ship, with a new commander, I will sort of test and tweak to find something that finds my playstyle, and that's important. It's to find something that suits your playstyle, or that you're comfortable playing, not necessarily to go and pick a meme build or the same build that everybody else is running. Um, because it may not suit your play style. You may want to sacrifice, um, some reload time for some AP damage or AP penetration. It's up to you with how you play. But here we go. This is encouraging battleship players to stay at range. So over 10 kilometers, I'm at 16.3. This goes out to a maximum of 5%. But I'm currently looking at an extra 4.75% extra damage for hits over 10 kilometers. And I'm guessing that includes citadel hits as well. So pretty much anything I'm hitting at over 10Ks is taking an extra 4.75% damage. Running a flammable cannoneer, which although it means I can get set on fire a lot easier, we've got that 8% range and we've got that 5% main battery shell grouping. Gyrating drill bits, we've got the traverse speed, and then we get an extra 10% damage on our AP shells. So along with that base trait, we're getting an extra, almost an extra 15%, to start with, which can make a huge difference. Firefighter, so we're reducing the cooldown time and the risk of catching fire. So that's kind of trading on flammable cannoneer, because we're increasing the risk by 13% there, but we're reducing the risk by 15% there. So you're countering things a little, but you're still going to set on fire. Trust me on that one. And then this is sort of the special skill. So we're doing currently an extra 12.5% extra on citadel strikes. We've got 5.5 reduction in dispersion. So if you take that extra, what do we have? Sorry, let's have a look. We've got an extra 4.75% damage there across its 10Ks. We're reducing our dispersion. We're throwing another 12.5% damage on citadels and reducing the dispersion by another 5.5%. So you're hitting us. If you hit a single citadel at over 12 kilometers, the maximum you're going to be doing is an extra 20% of damage, if I've got this right, and if those stack. So if you hit a double citadel, you're potentially going to be doing 40% more damage in a citadel strike, and that's why this commander seems to be one that you definitely need to have in your roster. And then we're just running Will to Rebuild to pull back some hit points, but obviously we're reducing the duration of our repair party. Now, as I said earlier, I build how I feel that I need to build, so I thought I'd try something pretty basic that I start off with normally. I've put Azur Lane Scharnhorst on there to again um, reduce the dispersion. I might actually switch that off for grouping and see how that changes the balance. And then we bring in almost 6% off the reload time. So we're bringing it down, but it's not massively being brought down. So there we have my take on the ship and the commander. Although I am showing the Azur Lane skin on here, and I do like blue, and it looks kind of nice, but I felt I needed something that was a little bit more toned down. So I've gone with that one, which is a bit more clean and plain and simple. I don't know how it would look with the stars and stripes on. You know, in fact, should we try that? Should we try that now? Because my grosser Curvehurst is bright orange with the Transformers camouflage. But let's have a look at just the standard stars and stripes camo on that. Is that the one? Red, white, and blue. Oh goodness. Well, I don't suppose it's too bad, but I think I'll stick with my first choice. So yeah, I did use a lot of paints to put a different camo on it. I was going to put it on black, but I'm limited on the number of Black Friday camos that I have. So there's the ship, there's the commander, that's the rundown. As I said, I've had some good games, I've had some bad games, and this game that's coming up, it's good and it's bad, because trust me, as good as I do, I make a terrible, terrible mistake, and it could have been so much better. So sit tight, grab your cup of coffee or your cup of tea, get comfortable, and watch this one. I'll see you on the other side. So here we are in the New Jersey with the new Azur Lane Commander on it, with the build that we just looked at. I'm in division with Chin Laden, who has brought the Parsifal out. There's a couple of divisions out there. There's some New Jerseys. There's a lot of big ships out there, a couple of destroyers, and there's a Parsifal on the opposing team as well. This is going to get a little bit messy at times, but we are going to try and do what we can to bring home a win. And it's going to be a big game. This is the best game I've had in the New Jersey so far, but that is not to say that is the greatest of games, because sadly I do make some terrible mistakes towards the end. But I don't always show the most amazing games in my replays. What I do try to do is give people an overview and talk through of my gameplay to show where I play well, how I play a ship, what decisions I'm making as I play, and then I'll point out my own mistakes, because I especially don't play high tier battleships, so I'm very much on a steep learning curve here. Chin is doing his job and spotting the two destroyers. We've obviously got one already across on Sea Cap, that's the black, and the Akazuki is heading across towards A Cap. State of the game at the moment, there seems to be a lot of hanging back and waiting for other people to do the work, and the Iowa on our team is no exception to this rule, because he's kind of barking orders saying, hey, there you go, capture area C, do this, do that, but he actually turns and runs away with it. And somebody's called me out for calling out players before, but sometimes you need to point this stuff out. The guy saying, hey, go here, do this, and yet he's the one at the back that's doing the least. And we are supporting him. We're pushing forwards. We want to get round and get on this cap and try and support our destroyer in getting rid of the destroyer that's across here. Chin is trying to get him spotted. There are a lot of big ships up here. So as you can see, I'm coming into this corner. I'm looking at this Andrea Doria, and we get our first salvo of the game off. Now, I'm used to playing destroyers with a much faster reload, shorter range, so shooting at long range with battleships is a skill that I'm acquiring slowly, but I am gradually getting better at judging the time of flight for these shells and planning on where I expect those shells to land. Now, you'll think here I'm sailing out broadside to a New Jersey. Yes, I am. And I very much feel like a chicken crossing the road at the moment, running across all this open water. I think potentially what I should have done is to hold that shot there and cross hopefully undetected. But with planes in the air, you're not going to have much chance of staying undetected. And here comes a salvo from their New Jersey, which knocks a couple of bars of health off me. And even though he's slightly angled away from us, we can't get a shot onto the Iowa because he's unsighted behind the hill. So we're going to continue to push. There's those torpedoes from the black. Our destroyer does an amazing job in outgunning that black because the black appeared to be more interested in getting his torpedoes off. But thanks to that destroyer doing an amazing job and being out there and screening, taking care of the black, he's had those torpedoes spotted early for us, and that means that we can now turn out of them and get tucked in against this island. We're looking for the best shot here, and there isn't a best shot, and so I'm going to take the best shot that I can. And everybody keeps dipping into and out of detection, but we land at a citadel. The New Jersey is on me again, so we pop the back turret at him. We lose another little bit of health, and the guys now who had run into an island, we're on this cap, we've got 10 seconds. So here I am, I'm in one of the most focused battleships in the game at the moment. I'm in a capture point, taking a cap with the destroyer. I'm not hanging at the back. We see the Akatsuki trying to smoke up. We put 3 turrets in. We're trading hit points for the sake of getting rid of that destroyer, and there we go. We do get absolutely chunked crossing that open water, but we have done the team a favour on the other side of that map by not letting that destroyer disappear into cover. Now we have a bit of a respite. We're through the cap, we're behind the island, we've got a little bit of cover, and look, there's our Iowa. Our Iowa is still there, all the way at the back. So as I said, he was the one that was back in orders at the start. He is going to pull nose in to that island there, and he is going to sit there for the majority of the game. We get the Andrea Doria spotted again. He's obviously screening for the carrier. Chin is onto him. We get some shots on the carrier, but this is where the game fails me a little bit, because just over penetrations, and you'd think that that would have been an absolute smasher of a shot. But as we can see, the AA is on the go. He's trying to drop torpedoes on it, but hits the island. And so I'm sort of in a good spot here for defense from that run. But if he comes in from the other side, I've got no way out unless I go straight forward. So we decide we're not going to let him have the opportunity to do that, and we're going to try and nose around this corner and see what we can do to those ships that are tracking over through the other capture point. Andrea Doria comes across the top at us, and now we're going to try and go ambush mode on these guys. We're waiting for the turrets to clear that hill. We get a clear signal, but we still hit the rocks with that rear turret, even though it's telling us that we're clear. So I wish Wargaming would adjust that so that it's when all 3 turrets are clear, or at least to show a symbol for the number of turrets that are clear. Gneisenau is now in open water. He's taken a beating. I'm just looking at which ships are around with us. There we go. The Iowa has run into an island. He's flat broadside. Just as my reload comes up, we get those shells out there. I think this Gneisenau is firing HE, but we take the Iowa off the map and then lose a turret. I didn't see who those shots came from, but check this out. That cruiser out there is being a royal pain in the butt, and we are now being the focus of attention. And as I was saying about our friendly Iowa, if you have a look out there, he's tucked nose in against this island. He's very comfortable where he is. But we're going to just put one turret off that Gneisenau and not let him get a reload on us. It was a bit of a cheap kill, but it is kill number 3, 78,000 damage. Still a full health New Jersey out there. Still a New Jersey out there. We know the Andrea Doria is to our left. And our destroyer has pushed into B cap and taken that cap. So he has played this game brilliantly, so well. But there's going to be a mistake made there as well that is rather costly. So that New Jersey is turning flat broadside. We get a good chunk of health off him, but again we've got 2 penetrations and 4 over penetrations. So these shells are hitting hard, but in some cases they are hitting too hard, and I haven't got anything built into this for extra penetration. So I think it's going to take some time to find a sweet spot for these guns for range, because that was 13-14 kilometers and we're getting over pens. So I think really you do need to be on the Citadel shots every single time for this to be getting the maximum damage out of it. But that's looking like a tasty salvo as well. Double Citadel, pick up a high caliber, and we smash through 130,000 with just that one salvo. And now I'm looking for the kill shot. It looks like his engine is out. We've got 7 seconds coming up on the reload. The Lightning picks him up with a torpedo, and that leaves the Andrea Doria, who is using his speed and maneuverability to his advantage. It is 4-4 on the ships. We are up on points. Our Iowa is still there, parked on the corner of his island. Seriously, there's 2 styles of gameplay going on here. One in which somebody is, as I am, shooting and scooting. And you'll notice earlier I said if I get stuck against an island, a torpedo run from that carrier isn't going to be good. And lo and behold, there is the one that I wasn't expecting. Chin is doing his absolute damnedest with the carrier to put the pressure on red team. That Iowa is completely stuck where he is, and I'm about to get shots on the Zara, but he dips behind the mountain, and so we pop some shots across at that New Jersey. Just as I fire, I realise I could have potentially held for that Parsifal, but we do get a Citadel kill on that New Jersey. Not a Citadel kill, a Citadel hit. We're up to 172,000 damage. We are racking up the points. We are really doing everything that we can, and for somebody who doesn't play battleships normally, I think I'm actually doing a pretty decent job of this one so far. But our destroyer is low health. He goes after the carrier. The carrier is going to now just focus him, because as good a job as he's done so far, he's missed all of his torpedoes, and that carrier is going to stay focused on him because he knows that he must be key to winning this game. The Andrea Doria has sailed in and taken B cap. This is where things are going to get very, very difficult, because I'm low health, he's low health. This is going to be a quick draw. Now, I know about angling battleships to make the most out of your armor. I don't think I'm going to survive this one, but this is a win it or bin it, but we are going to make mistakes. Lightning disappears because he gets within secondary range of the Parsival, but we punch through that Andrea Doria and take kill number 4. And here is where the mistakes happen. I was looking at the Parsival thinking the destroyer has done enough damage to him. I forget that the Andrea Doria was on the cap, and as the video is titled, look right, not left, this is the reason why, because I decided to try and take this carrier out. We get the shots over, but as we turn through this gap, trying to be angled away from the guys behind us, we didn't even look in that direction and look across there. We've got a low health cruiser and we've got a low health battleship, and that is what has probably cost us this game. There was 1.5 minutes to play. Those 2 front turrets could have gone on that carrier or the New Jersey, and this is where literally I threw this game, and I'm not ashamed to admit my mistakes. It was a terrible mistake on my behalf. If you watch me play live stream, my head is normally on a swivel. I normally know where pretty much every target is, what position they're in, where the guns are firing. I'm always looking around to see what's going on. So why the hell I didn't do that? And all I can think is that the carrier was a key in this game and needed to disappear. If I'd have turned right there and come into the centre, I could have finished that cruiser, had a Kraken, and then perhaps put that rear turret of justice onto that New Jersey and walked away with a sick back. But the clock is ticking down. Chin is doing what he can, but he literally cannot get planes over those 2 ships. He's got pretty much no planes left. The clock is ticking down into the final 10 seconds, and it's sad to say that after playing such a well played game that I go and screw it up right at the end. But here are the final tallies. We do pick up just under 200,000 damage, a high caliber, a Confederate. We get some great Citadel hits. We finish top of the board. That would have been close to a 3,000 base XP game. But if you have enjoyed watching this video and the little talk through on the commander and ship setup, please do hit that like button. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell and get notified when I put up new content. And if you would like to make a donation to the channel, there is a link in the channel description. Please do click that, make a small donation, help me keep this thing going. Until next time, take care and goodbye.